Hello gamers, Tenno specifically this time. I don't usually make videos like this, but I have a burning passion to share the information I'm going to be presenting today, so here it is. On June 18th, Warframe dropped the Jade Shadows update, and with it a new game mode called Ascension, as well as a clan event that's going to be running for the whole month that rewards you handsomely for running lots of Ascension. The node also drops weapon blueprints and blueprints for the new warframe Jade, but that's incidental to my goal here. Speaking of my goal here, I'm going to be showing you the most optimized, up-to-date, fastest way to be farming Ascension. A typical non-steel path Ascension run with random players will take between 7 and 8 minutes, 9 if you really suck. An optimized team, who know their roles and do them well, can finish a mission in under 6 minutes. My current best is 5 minutes 30 seconds. Now obviously, shaving 2 minutes off a run isn't that big of a deal, unless you're a psychopath like myself, who took 4 days off of work to grind the update as soon as it came out for 4 straight days. But in my 4 straight days of grinding Ascension, I noticed a lot of teams with a lot of little inefficiencies, like MR4 rhinos standing on the platform and waiting for it to go up a floor so they could shoot more enemies instead of going and looking for boosted power cells. Or other players throwing boosted cells onto the capsule at the same time as another player, effectively wasting one of the boosted cells and making the whole mission slower. So I'm going to show you, in action, the optimal way to farm this node. How to tell your squad how to play it in randoms, and what warframes you should be looking for if you're making a 4-man custom farming team. Role 1. DPS. First and foremost, you want a DPS frame, probably Mesa. Mesa's job is simple. As soon as the capsule reaches the top of the elevator, you nuke the Sister of Parvos instantly, and you start clearing the way of Eximus units so that the capsule will never die. Mesa's Waltz is a great augment for this, and any build that has high damage on Mesa's regulators is going to be fine at this. Killing enemies during the ascent itself is actually not very needed. Obviously, clear whatever you need to feel comfortable, but the DPS frame should optimally be running around each room, each of the side rooms, grabbing boosted power cells and bringing them back to the elevator. The second role we want to fill is just Dante. It's literally just Dante. Start the mission, give everyone hella overguard, hang out on the elevator, clear a little bit if you want. Who cares? Just keep giving your teammates overshield so that they don't have to worry about getting Jade lighted. Dante is also a good choice for another role that I believe he can do at the same time. I call this role Elevator Boy. Elevator Boy has one job. The entire mission, this entire setup revolves around Elevator Boy. Elevator Boy is the only person who should be staying on the elevator. Elevator Boy's job is to take the boosted power cells and very carefully throw them at the capsule so that you can chain the speed boost from the boosted power cells. The timing on this is the important thing. There are 2 types of energy cells. There are the normal energy cells that drop from enemies, and there are the boosted power cells that you find in the little side rooms around the map. The boosted cells are all we care about. When a boosted cell is applied to the elevator, it moves much faster for a short duration. The length of that speed buff is the time it takes for the energy to go from 50 points down to 40 points. So as soon as it hits 39, that speed boost is gone. Once that hits 39 and the boost has visibly gone away, then and only then, Elevator Boy will throw the next boosted power cell at the capsule. Nothing is as rage-inducing to me in this game mode as when the MR4 Rhino throws his boosted power cell at the capsule at the exact same time as the true and honest Elevator Boy throws his righteous and justified boosted power cell at the capsule at the right time. So Elevator Boy, super important. It's also really good for him to be Dante so that when people come in to drop off their cells, he can top up their overshields. But Elevator Boy could just as easily be any buff or support frame, or it could even be the Mesa. The last 2 frames in your party are going to fill the same role, Battery Fetcher. For this role, you really want flying warframes. You want Titania or you want Jade. But if you don't have a support, you need some extra DPS to nuke the Sister of Parvos at the end, you really can't go wrong with Jade. She deals 1,000,000,000,000,000,000 damage. Designate one of your 2 fetchers to go for the sister beacons as soon as the door opens after the defend portion of the mission. This fetcher just grabs all 3 beacons as fast as she can and then gets back down towards the elevator. While she does that, the other fetcher checks directly behind where the first boosted power cell spawns, because there's a small room that has a good chance of spawning a second boosted power cell. There's one in the room with the 3 jump pads, and then there's one in the room on the back wall behind where the elevator is. The room with the 3 bounce pads also has a decent chance to spawn a sister beacon, which can take a load off of the sister beacon hunting fetcher. I've also noticed that even though you only need 3 sister beacons, more than 3 definitely spawn. After checking the 3 initial rooms at the bottom of the area, you should now have at least 1 boosted power cell. Fly the cell over to the elevator, drop it off somewhere safe, somewhere that it won't bounce off the elevator, and somewhere where you won't accidentally throw it into the capsule. Even if the boost isn't on, resist the urge to throw the capsule yourself. Let Elevator Boy be the only person managing the power level. As soon as you drop 1 cell off, go grab another. You should really only be killing enemies if you're about to run out of power for your flight ability. Ideally, the DPS can do a little bit of clearing as she runs around looking for boosted cells, but ideally you won't have to scoop up very much energy. I also very highly recommend running Arcane Energize for this, so you can get additional energy and also share energy with your teammates so that all of you can keep your abilities up. Battery fetchers should also take a couple runs just to learn where all of the various cell spawn points are. But there's also a very important note. Cells will only spawn on the same floor as where the elevator is. It's about a 1.5 floor distance. There's a certain radius that the boosted cells will not spawn until the elevator is close enough to them. The radius seems to be a bit less than 1.5 floors. So you can't have one person start at the top of the map and grab a bunch of cells and throw them down and work your way down and have one person work their way up. The cells don't spawn until you're close. Some rooms, like the left-hand side rooms with the walkways that go into the little enemy spawner room, can spawn up to 3 cells at once. After a few runs, you'll start to see all the good, really common, high-density boosted cell spawning spots. And you'll always know if a cell can spawn in a location because there will be the little metal plate on the ground that shows where they can spawn. The battery fetchers are the crucial, most important part of this entire strategy. Sometimes you do get a bad run where not enough cells spawn, but that'll decrease over time as you learn where all the really good spots are and where everything shows up. And if you need to supplement with a few of the normal cells, that's all right. But I have personally had runs with nearly 100% boost uptime, so I know that the spawn rate for the boosted cells is a lot higher than it seems if you're not checking all the weird little nooks and crannies and all the little side rooms. This mission is on a very small tile set, if it's even a tile set at all. It could actually be exactly the same every time, and I just haven't noticed because of how samey all of the tiles are. But either way, after like 6 runs or so, you should have a pretty good intuition for where is a good place to check. Personally, it's the side room that I mentioned earlier, the back wall 2-layered rooms, and then on the right-hand side, there's the rooms where you can look in and see the spawn point directly. That's usually a good room. On the other hand, the high vaulted rooms at the back and front of the map only seem to very rarely spawn cells for me. As soon as you're clear that you're within 1 cell of the elevator hitting the top of the map, everyone should abandon their roles and get ready all around the spawn point of the Sister of Parvos, except for the DPS, especially if it's Mesa. Mesa should stop what she's doing, clear all the Eximus off the top, and then wait for the Sister to spawn. Especially if she can do that with Mesa's Waltz on, so that her regulators are charging up. And then as soon as the Sister spawns, everybody activates their buffs and just nukes her instantly. Jades, don't forget to switch to your weapon damage buff instead of your ability power buff. Don't forget to activate your armor stripping Ophanim eyes. It's all DPS. It's all good. Then as soon as she's down and everybody gets the drops, you can all get in front of the capsule, clear the Eximus in front of it, and then Mesa can kind of slowly walk in front and clear out that hallway in front. Jade also does a really good job of clearing that hallway. but it's important to have at least 2 players right next to the capsule ahead of it to clear out the stairs. And then you want at least 1 player to be through that outer door before the capsule gets there, because a lot of Eximus will spawn out there, and you want to grab all that aggro before the capsule goes up there. If you do everything right, the capsule will never stop to recharge. So yeah, that's the true optimized way to run Ascension. Necros and Korra are no longer mandatory on this game mode. They patched out the ability to desecrate additional arcanes and steel essence off the Sister of Parvos. It was nice while it lasted, but that's gone. Also, side note, drop boosters do not work on the volatile motes, the vestigial motes, the arcanes, or the steel essence. None of that gets duplicated by a drop booster, so don't bother buying one. I bought one. If you do happen to get a 5th party member, if you get Shadow Stalker, or Dado Stalker now, I guess, just explain to him, like, hey, don't throw any cells onto the thing, just put him on the elevator for us. Be nice, maybe he'll listen to you. Now, generally in Steel Path, what you're going to get from this is 12 volatile motes, 12-ish volatile motes, 20-ish vestigial motes, and 4 steel essence. And that's great and all, but what we're actually here for is arcane maxing. First off, each run will give you one of the new arcanes. Arcane Ice Storm, Arcane Battery, Arcane Fortifier, Arcane Secondary Burst, or Arcane Melee Affliction. Max all of those out with the drops. Just max all five of those. But then, you can spend 46 volatile motes to get Arcane Energize, and you need 21 of those. So that's 966 motes that you need. But then there's also Arcane Grace and Arcane Barrier. So if you need those are also 966 motes to max out. So that's 2,898 motes you need for this event. But then also, you need 100 motes for the Enlightened Hate Scythe skin, because it's really cool. So now we need just shy of 3,000 motes. So keeping in mind that we get 12-ish a run, we're going to have to do 250 runs. And if we can get that to 7 minutes each, if you count the loading time between missions and all that, that's about 29 hours of running nothing but Ascension. But Conspira, that's crazy. Why would I do all that? Because every run you also get an arcane, one of the new arcanes. And each of the new arcanes breaks down for 24 Vosper. And also keep in mind that you get 24 vestigial motes every run. And every 10 vestigial motes you can buy another of the new arcanes. So every 10 vestigial motes is 24 more Vosper. You won't have to buy any of the new arcanes, because you're going to be running so much of this that by the time you're done, you're going to have lots of Jade blueprints, lots of all of her weapon blueprints. The only thing you might need to do is spend 450 vestigial motes on an additional main blueprint for Jade if you plan on subsuming her. But that also means that every run on Steel Path nets you 3 arcanes minimum, which means that's 72 Vosper per run, which means you can be making 612 Vosper per hour, or 3 arcane packs. Now, if you don't need Energize, Grace, or Barrier, you can spend only 5 volatile motes and get all of the rare Eidolon arcanes as well. It's only 105 volatile motes to max out any of those arcanes. So 946 motes to get all of them. The uncommon motes cost 3 each, so it's only 63 motes to max any of those, or 819 motes to max all of them. And the commons cost 1 each, so a modest 21 to max any of those, and a total of 126 to max all of them. So now, let's say, for example, I'm a returning player with 0 arcanes. Now we just need a casual 4,888 motes to max everything. An easy breezy 408 runs. A brisk 48 hour straight farming session with the boys. And in those 408 runs, you'll have acquired 1,387 of the new arcanes, minus the 105 of them required to max them all out. You'll have 1,282 arcanes left over. At 24 VOS for each, you'll have 30,768 VOSphor. From that, you can open 153 packs of relics from our second favorite gay boy, Lloyd. Also, probably enough Jade blueprints to keep Jade in production for years for some sort of fucked up warframe baby farm. Hi guys! Welcome to the Conspirasphere. Thanks for watching my latest video. Go ahead and like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the video, click that notification bell so that you get my notifications when I upload another video. Videos go up at 4 p.m. We've got good shit coming down the pipeline. Go ahead and hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, comment on the channel, make me your homepage on your fucking browser so that every time you open up your goddamn browser, you go straight to my YouTube channel and auto-open 5 of my videos. Rewatch all of those videos at the same time. I don't give a shit. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.